Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Today we're going to talk about how to recover from car accidents or recovering from them and other traumatic injuries. Now, here's a brilliant comment from Facebook from Philip. Hey doc, my sister's two grandkids, 10 and 11, were in an auto accident where someone hit them head on so hard it removed the passenger side door of their pickup. Doctors say that they're both miracles, but they both have slight concussions. The 11-year-old has a gash above his left eye needing stitches. The 10-year-old has severely bruised and scraped right arm. I counseled my sister to find them a good chiropractor, learned in neurologic issues to see them immediately. They live in North Carolina. Could you do a talk sometime about the importance of seeing a good chiropractor as soon as you have been in a vehicle accident? Because everything shifts, and even though you may not notice the changes yet, you still have a 100% chance of being injured for life with pain. You were a miracle worker for us when we came to visit you. Our auto accidents were post 40 years plus. Don't want folks to suffer needlessly years of agony when it can be remedied sooner rather than later. We have to look at this. Now, trauma. If a person survives a trauma, what other effects could that trauma have on their body? Well, number one is the stress system. Know that we have an automatic nervous system. So one part keeps you alive under stress, the other part regenerates tissue. Under any physical, chemical, emotional stress. Now think of this 10 and 11-year-old kids. When they're in a stress response, bam, the body goes into this fight or flight state. That means digestion is going to be depressed. That means that parasympathetic, the rest, digest, and repair, is going to take secondary importance to that fight or flight. So that means elevations in cholesterol, blood pressure, decreased digestive problems, difficulty in paying attention in school could be, because all of these are going to be responsible for that stress response in an intelligent fashion. This is a perfect example. You're looking at a person with significant stress response on the left and a near normal with minor trauma on the right. And that stress response, you can see the top of the rib cage area, a massive rotation. And that rotation, the top of the rib cage area, that's the sympathetic nerve supply to the heart. When you see a rotation in there, you're looking at cardiac arrhythmias, heart palpitations. But just like when you've seen in the movies, when someone has a heart attack, what do? They grab their left arm, their left jaw. That's because if you irritate the diaphragm on the left, that spasms out the left trapezius, and then that refers to those areas. Well, under any physical, chemical, or emotional stress, the liver's got to work harder to process those stress hormones. Talking epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline. You're looking at cortisol. So the liver has to work harder. Well, that's going to spasm out the right trap. And that right trap is literally connected to the top of the thoracic area. So think of this. Physical, chemical, emotional stress. It starts to rotate those vertebrae over, more and more and more stress. Eventually, if those bones rotate over so far because of chronic stress, and this is a natural, I call it the off button. But literally, if it alters that sympathetic supply to the heart, because the heart has two nerve supplies, parasympathetic coming out of the neck, sympathetic coming out of the top of the thoracic, eventually it can rotate it over so far that, bam, it fires a sympathetic charge down into the heart, putting the heart in ventricular fibrillation, stopping the heart. So when we see a rotation like this is significant. It requires immediate attention, immediate. And you've got to look at the relationship between structure and function. 90% of the nerves that come off that body, there's no pain fibers. So this means you can see if there's a structural deviation, hearts can be affected, digestion can be affected, kidney function. You're looking at all of this. And when you're talking about alterations in digestion, it's called a gut-brain connection. This is literally neurotransmitter production could be off. So When you look at subluxations in Chung Ha Su, University of Colorado, a subluxation is a bone that's been misaligned from some type of trauma that's affecting the nervous system. Now, if subluxations are not corrected early when they are caused or shortly after birth, the subluxation could be difficult or impossible to correct later. Subluxations can reduce nerve impulses by 60%. That's significant. Now, what are the effects of chronic stress? And again, I want you to think of this 10 and 11-year-old kids. First, stress diminishes cellular utilization of glucose, increases blood sugar, decreases protein synthesis, can increase protein breakdown or muscle wasting, can lead to blood acidity and osteoporosis, can interfere with skin regeneration, lymphatic tissue shrinkage, diminishes lymphocyte function. Now, a subluxation is a bone literally misaligned in relationship to the vertebrae above below. Look at these two x-rays. We're looking at a normal, beautiful curve in the neck, which is also called the arc of life. A reversal or loss of curve in the neck means that the ligament that goes on the posterior aspect or the back half of the vertebrae, it's called the posterior longitudinal ligament, that was actually injured. And this has a cascade of effects in the body. It literally causes the body to have a challenge to adapt to its environment. And we talk about the 3 T's: trauma, toxins, thoughts. And now, initially, you got that trauma, and that's a kinesiopathophysiology. This leads to alterations in the nervous system, or get that sympathetic burst, that automatic nervous system, that stress response, or that sympathetic. What does that do? That causes the muscles to spasm out, or myopathophysiology. Then you've got the histopathophysiology, and this is, again, you're looking at changes in the cellular structure. And the end result of this is the pathology, or the pathophysiologic response. And that's when people develop symptoms. Now, the central nervous system is brilliant and beautiful. In fact, it's the only system encased in bone. It's a flexible, beautiful bone column, and you got this beautiful skull up here to take care of that central nervous system. Now, if there's any misalignments, that can cause an alteration in function. And you also have this beautiful flow of information. You're talking 1 billion impulses a second flow from that brain down, but also you have the sensory input from the body flowing up into that brain. And if those signals are interrupted, you're going to have an alteration in function. This is just basic common sense. You're looking at healthy discs on the left, and look at the bony distortion on the right. Now, it takes 3 to 5 years to see a bone change on an x-ray. So when you're looking at the x-ray on the right, you're looking at significant, this is like 30 to 40 years of damage. So that means that this person has a loss of curve or reversal of the curve for over 30 years. What does that do to the function? You're looking at a chronic stress state. So could this person be misdiagnosed with elevations in blood pressure or blood sugar or bowel disorders, or all the things that people could be suffering from, but has a result of an accident 30 or 40 years earlier? Anytime you have loss of curve in the neck, and this is why we call the curve in the neck the arc of life, it literally strains or pulls that spinal cord, because the spinal cord doesn't have any stretch fibers. And this can alter that function. And you're seeing a subluxation on the left on the x-ray, but you can see the MRI on the right that it's literally putting pressure on that spinal cord. Now, for every 1 inch forward head carriage, the pressure on the disc doubles. So if you take an average head, 12 to 15 pounds, and it goes forward 1 to 2 inches, you're talking 30 pounds, more than 30 pounds of pressure. If it goes more than that, 42 pounds of pressure, from 12 to 32 to 42 pounds of pressure. And what does that do? That triggers the muscles behind to pull it back into alignment. How do people treat tight muscles? They'll relax them. If you're not understanding why the muscles are in spasm and you relax them, which way is the head going to fall? Bam, further forward. let's look at the importance of the cervical curve. Alfred Brigg, loss of cervical curve, the arc of life, stretches the spinal cord 5 to 7 centimeters and produces pathologic tension, putting the body in a state of disease. Look at the studies from 1975, 1982, 1996. Loss of cervical lordosis reduces the patient's lung capacity by 30%. Core 1979, loss of a curve in the neck causes a weak immune system, organ disease, muscle tension, increased sensitivity to pain. Look at the Journal of Pain, 2004. Forward head carriage, loss of cervical curve, and atlas subluxations blocks normal neck motion and dramatically reduces the amount of endorphins produced. This results in many otherwise non-painful sensations are experienced as pain, like in fibromyalgia. The curve in the neck is called the arc of life for a reason. And you can see normal is in the middle. On either side, you're looking at reversal of the curve. So when does this trauma occur? Did these people in a stress response? Absolutely. What does that do? That decreases nerve supply to that gut, and that's where neurotransmitters are. It also decreases that flow of cerebral spinal fluid. What would happen if you're in a chronic stress state? Would you be diagnosed with happy, joyous, and lots of energy, or diagnosed with depression and anxiety? Could this be a contributing factor to this? It's not going to be a contributing factor if you don't know about it. And now here again, we're looking at before and after on a patient. You can see on the left significant lateral deviation. I mean, you're talking the rib cage, the most protected area of the body, dented. That is tough. Luckily there was no fusion, so we were able to correct him. But this has a horrific cascade event of physiologic responses. So how do you find a good chiropractor? We've got 7 questions here, and all you got to do is find some chiropractor that says yes to 5 of them. Number 1, do you take x-rays? If not, you're working blind. Now, you got 90% of the nerves that come off that spine having no pain fibers. If you are not taking an x-ray and you're going on symptoms, you're going to be missing stuff. Now, are you utilizing those x-rays to guide your adjustments? And then, do you take post x-rays to document the changes that you made? How would you like to go to somebody, they find a problem on an x-ray, they do a series of adjustments, but they don't document that they actually fixed the problem? Again, you cannot work on symptoms. And then what are the treatment goals of the doctor? Are they to restore the normal reshape, restore the normal curves, restore the normal function, or are they just working on symptoms? And 5, are you familiar with correcting disc injuries? Because if you have an alteration in structure, that's going to alter the nutrients to that disc. You restore that structure, the discs can regenerate. Number 6, do you work on post-surgical patients? Because when you have this beautiful mobile spine and you fuse an area, the area above and below that surgery site are going to have to move twice as much. You have to address that. Post-surgery patients, they require this care. You can't adjust the surgery site because that's just a block, but you need to make sure that the area above and below that surgery site remain healthy and mobile. And can you reverse arthritis? If you realize that osteoarthritis, which is also called degenerative disc disease or degenerative joint disease, it's the result of a trauma. And there's a law called Wolff's Law: bones lay down where it's needed, resorb where it's not. So when you take an abnormal structure, you restore that, and then you restore the disc motion, and the discs start to regenerate, you will see arthritis reversed. Here, let's look at this. Okay, so we have before and after. Reverse curve into a near normal curve. And we're looking at, all these x-rays were done between 3 months and 6 months. Grade 3 arthritis. So what does that mean? That means that this person had a reverse curve in their neck for over 20 years, and then it's restored. Why? Because there was no fusions. And this is also, we're not just addressing the spine. We're looking at physical, chemical and emotional stressors. Again, before and after 20 years of migraines gone, when you're looking at before and after, the 5 keys to health are essential. This is why we talk about proper nerve supply. And when you're looking at the neck, that is the cardiac and respiratory center. In the neck, you've got the nerve to the diaphragm, so that's breathing. You've got the nerve to the entire upper extremity. So proper nerve supply, number 1. Regular exercise. This means that you've got to move every joint every day. To do those corrections that you just saw, we give ligamentous-based exercises. And you can't just correct the neck. You've got to correct the curve in the low back as well. So all the exercises are essential. Proper nutrition. This means a man makes it, you're not eating it. The diet's real basic. You're going to eat what your great-great-grandparents ate. Organic, healthy, varied, seasonal, sufficient rest. The key when you're recovering from an auto accident, you've got to get the rest. And this means not chemically induced sleep with medications. It means you've got to reset your circadian rhythms. And this is what we teach all of our patients. And prayer and meditation, 100% of the studies that involve prayer actually show increased healing. So let's work with science. And that's, if you know the science of connecting with your creator, that is brilliant. I really like the relationship I got with God. But if you've been in a trauma, if you know somebody in a trauma, use those 7 questions to find a good chiropractor, and do not wait for symptoms. Do not think, oh yeah, the car was totaled, but I'm fine. Take care of yourselves. You're all made in the image and likeness of God. We got to take care of you. Stay healthy, my friends.